All right, music fans, welcome back. It is Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. Fleetwood Mac, all over social media now, and to tell you what, a great publicity move, regardless of how you feel about Lindsey Buckingham. They are the talk of social media after their interview with CBS this morning. Mick Fleetwood, Stevie Nicks, even Christine McVie to some degree, showing a very unified front. The new guys in the band, Neil Finn and the great Mike Campbell playing guitar. This is an interesting lineup, and as I said in the first video, I thought that this was a good move. I was somewhat pounced upon by some of the fans of this page, but I can tell you this, it's amazing how quickly these guys sort of brought this all together as if they really had no choice. Lindsey Buckingham, according to them, and according to the line that's out there, and again, you have to take what they say and maybe extrapolate a little bit. I believe this was part of the reason Buckingham didn't want to tour, although didn't he do a bit of a tour with Christine McVie last year? So if Buckingham just didn't want to tour and didn't want to sign some paperwork to get the band out on the road, that's enough, in my estimation, to say, okay, well, we're going to go on without you. But what's different is Neil Finn and Mike Campbell seem to be permanent fixtures. What is also really interesting is that Campbell got this phone call 5 days before this charity concert they did and was basically asked to join the band. I think Stevie Nicks has been driving some of this. I think her relationship with Lindsey Buckingham, again, one of my other videos, I think maybe she just had enough. And it appears that maybe Mick Fleetwood had enough as well. I had somebody say, hey, you know, Stevie Nicks, she's one to talk about being a team player because she bowed out of this whole thing the last time around. It was supposed to be a Mac album, turned out to be a Buckingham McVie album. The band was supposed to go out on tour, and it was Stevie Nicks who said, no, I don't want to do this. Okay, that's a pretty interesting argument, but the way I see this is maybe, just maybe, Stevie Nicks didn't like the material, or I don't know. There were a number of factors there, and I can tell you the Buckingham McVie project was interesting, but it wasn't Fleetwood Mac quality stuff. That's the way I see it. And I think these two new guys probably couldn't be happier to be in this group. And the chemistry, I think, will be so much better. I think Stevie Nicks is going to have fun on stage. I heard right up until, you know, the very end, it's always sort of this backbiting commentary by Lindsey Buckingham about how Stevie Nicks can't do this or can't do that. And Stevie has kind of proven herself to be just a tremendous force all on her own. And like I said in a blog post, I think Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie can carry Fleetwood Mac, vocally speaking. We saw that on Behind the Mask. Although a lot of folks didn't like Behind the Mask, I thought it was a great album. And even the album they did after that, where a whole bunch of people left, and it was all these new people that just took over, it wasn't a bad record. I would say the best Fleetwood Mac is still going to always be your Lindsey Fleetwood Mac, but for the most part, I think Lindsey isn't the Lindsey of old, and I think if you watch some of those concerts last year, especially the classic East and West gigs, I think Fleetwood Mac sounded tired. I think they were running, just going through the motions a bit. And I think Neil Finn and Mike Campbell are a huge boost to this lineup, and they're going to inject new energy. And my guess would be new music, which could be right around the corner. I think Stevie's got songs that she probably sandbagged, that she wants to record. I know Neil Finn can write a song in his sleep. And Mike Campbell has written, co-written. You just go down the list. You know, he wrote a couple big ones, or with Don Henley, I know that for sure. With or for, I can't remember. But he's definitely been writing his entire career, and I think you inject new energy and you've got chemistry that's relatable. In other words, Mike Campbell is familiar with this and Neil Finn is familiar with this, so it's going to be really interesting to watch. But I think it's good publicity for Fleetwood Mac, and even if you're not on board the Mac Express this time around, you've got to admit that everybody is talking about Fleetwood Mac. For the Real Music Observer, it's Dave, observing real music in real time. I'll be back with more real music news and commentary and opinion and pontificating. I'll be doing that real soon. Talk to you then.